This book kind of solves a issue or a problem I've had for quite a while, and that is I chose a long time ago to make Harry Bosch age in real time, and not ever believing he'd be around this long. And so here I am. He's aging in real time, and I'm running out of time with him. It's not realistic that he would be running around with a badge and a gun and chasing bad guys as a cop for too much longer. And so I've been worried, what do? I don't feel like killing him off or leaving him behind. And I think what happens towards the end of this book plants more than a seed. It kind of plants a tree. I think it really kind of gives me the opportunity to go forward with him. And I don't want to say too much more on that because it kind of reveals what happens at the end of this book. I don't know if I have a master plan. On one level, you do have a master plan. You plant seeds, and you have a general sense of where you're going or where you want to go. But then, when you're writing in the moment or within the book you're writing, you instinctively feel you should do something. And sometimes it's a mistake, and sometimes it isn't. When I think about a mistake I made, I one time at the end of a book had Harry Bosch turn in his badge and quit. That would turn out to be a mistake. I wish he hadn't quit because I realized afterwards that I like him in the bureaucracy of a police department. I missed that when I took him out, so I got him back in, corrected my mistake. I've done some things in this book that can't be corrected if they're wrong, because
Right.
I've killed some significant characters, and so that could be an issue down the road. But I think within this book, it was required. I mean, almost everything I do is in furthering the character of Harry Bosch, either within the story or within the series. And what happens in this book, helps set up the future of Harry Bosch. You never, you don't put a lot of faith in that stuff till it actually happens. Having been down the road many, many times with different projects that never amounted to anything. But if it should happen, I actually think he could do a really good job. He was in a movie, Tropic Thunder, where he played an agent, which is very much akin to a lawyer. And even though that was a comedy and he had a lot of comic turns in it, I actually whispered to my wife when we were watching that in the theater, he would be a good Mickey Holler. And then, several months later, the next thing I know, he's attached to the project. So I think he'd be good if he does it. It was quite easy because guess what I was doing? I was playing myself. I think they were disappointed by the shirt I wore.
Oh no.
But then, so then they were bringing in other shirts, and then I guess a higher level producer came in and said he's playing himself, and if that's his shirt, then he can wear that shirt. And so I ended up wearing my own shirt.
That's a cool producer. Okay, so if you ran a regular poker game like that in real life, which mystery authors would be around your table?
I definitely, first off, without a doubt, I'd have James Swain because I've seen him with cards, and I've seen what he can do, and people would be entertained as they lost their money, hopefully to me. But I don't know, it'd be fun to probably get a bunch of people from LA, maybe Bob Crace and James Elroy, people that we could kind of talk about what we write and about this city.
If it were strip poker, who would be naked first?
Most likely Crace, because he would probably fold on purpose. Probably closest is McAvoy because we had the same job, and when he was born in The Poet, that was definitely the most autobiographical book I've ever written because I wrote it within a couple of years or a year and a half of me leaving that job, and it was really me writing about my own views of that job and how I did it and so forth. So he started out being very close to me. When we came back to him this year in The Scarecrow, it had been 12 years really since he carried a story, and he was quite different, and he was still in the business that I left 14 years ago. So I think he's kind of strayed a bit from me. Harry Bosch and I share a daughter of the same age, and that with any parent that would change your worldview, form your worldview, and so I think we are now getting to be the closest of all my characters. The next book will be Harry Bosch, but Mickey Holler has a big part in it. I wrote a book called The Brass Verdict, which was had Bosch and Holler in it, but it was Mickey's book, and so everything you saw about Harry Bosch is through the eyes of Mickey. I'm going to flip that around with the book I'm starting to write now, and it will be a Harry Bosch book, and you'll see Mickey through his eyes.
Do you have a title yet?
No, unfortunately, I don't have a title. It's rare that I don't start a book with at least a working title, but I'm calling this one on my file, and my computer is H&B, Holler and Bosch. So.
Do you have a release date?
It would probably be, if I get it done in time, which I'm sure I will, this time next year, October 2010.